Yo, this is SoulDrum86 bringing you another video. Yes, once again, we are not seeing WWE 2K background. We are on Forza right now. So this is the Audi that I just customized and all of that jazz. I didn't do much to it, but it is what it is. Anyways, I know a lot of you probably heard about the news of Triple H possibly being forced out, the next 18 months, forced out of the company. And, there's a lot of people who saying like, they don't want that to happen. There's a lot of people saying like, it's about time, just because they've been upset with the creative and things like that. Now, look, I've not been a fan of what Triple H does for a long time now. It's been a very long time since I've been happy with what he's doing. The last time I liked Triple H's creative was NXT Black and Gold. I thought that that was awesome. Like, back when they had the Undisputed Era, Samoa Joe, like all of that, like those years of NXT were actually really entertaining. The takeover shows were good. All of that good stuff, right? So a lot of people are talking about, who could possibly step in. I've just been seeing videos of people talk about this stuff, and people saying it could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing. Here's the thing that a lot of people keep missing, though, when I listen to these videos. Now, you guys know that I bring this up all the time. I have tons and tons of videos on my channel that talk about this. And it seems to be, now, it's not that nobody touches on this subject. It's not that people don't mention it, but they don't mention it enough. Wrestling now is not just bad because of the creative. It's not just bad because the storylines are not that good. That's not why why wrestling isn't the same anymore. The reason why wrestling isn't the same anymore is because the wrestlers aren't the same anymore. These people do not care about character. They don't care about turning themselves into somebody that the crowd can get behind. What they worry about is the next spot that they're going to do in the match. And they worry about the next spot. And they worry about, impressing the locker room with somersaults off of a cage onto somebody standing on the commentator's table, and what other crazy thing that they can do next, and how quickly they can do it and how smooth they can make it look. It's no longer about character work. So if you have a situation where the wrestlers these days do not care about their character work, and they don't care about actually becoming a larger than life character, it doesn't matter what creative you put behind it. It is not going to be good. It's not going to be good. You can put The Rock and Stone Cold in the weakest storyline ever, but it's going to be entertaining because they knew how to entertain. They had it. The wrestling business no longer looks for people who have it. They just look at, can this person do the moves? How athletic are they? How acrobatic are they? That's what they look for now. It's no longer about looking for a certain look. It's no longer about ring presence. I mean, just watch footage from the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, the 2010s even. If you look at a lot of the wrestlers back then, whether they were male or female, you had to have ring presence. There had to be a certain way that you stood in the ring. There had to be something about you where when you were in that ring, you had some sort of ring presence. Some wrestlers today have it. I think Roman has it. You know what I mean? Just to name one, I think Roman has ring presence, but not a lot of guys and girls do. Everybody kind of feels the same. People didn't feel the same back then. I talk about it a lot on this channel. Who was like Bret Hart back in the day? Nobody. Nobody stood in the ring like him. Nobody got into the ring like him. People even had their signature ways of getting into the ring. Not just some sort of like pose and taunt like the stuff Rhea Ripley does before she gets in the ring. I'm literally talking about the way that they would go through or over the rope. People had a very unique thing about them. The way that they punched, the way that they kicked, the way that they took moves was a signature. I know you guys remember Bret Hart getting thrown into the turnbuckles chest first. That was like a signature thing that would be in all of his matches. Shawn Michaels, when you throw him to the corner, he would do that flip. He would flip up, kind of showing the velocity of how hard he was thrown. And he would sometimes either flip over the turnbuckle onto the outside of the ring, or he would just flip back and be dazed and confused. And sometimes he would take a clothesline or something like that. Everybody had a signature way of doing things, whether it was the way that they talked, it was the way that they walked to the ring. It wasn't just formulaic. I know you guys see it like I see it when wrestlers getting ready to come out to the ring. It just feels like, oh, this is my cue to do the thing. It doesn't feel natural. Remember when I brought up the analogy about when there's a really good natural dancer and somebody who's learning the dance and you can see them, they're not necessarily bad, but you can just see them counting their steps. But then you can look at the professional dancer who's been doing it for a while and it just looks smooth. It looks effortless. If the wrestling business is full of people who don't prioritize their character, if the wrestling business is full of people who no longer care about what gimmick they have and they care more about doing the moves, it does not matter who's running the company. So Triple H being gone, if that happens, will not help WWE. It's actually going to make it worse because TKO is going to really take over. You think all of these weird decisions that we've been seeing have been Triple H? This has been TKO. I've been saying this for a long time. So a lot of you who are brand new to the channel, I've been saying this for a long time. And I said that one day wrestling is going to get rid of storylines, at least WWE. I can't say for the other wrestling companies, no. But I think WWE, especially with TKO, pretty soon they're going to get rid of storylines. Because if you look at it, you have Money in the Bank coming up, right? This weekend. Money in the Bank only has 4 matches. When you watch boxing or UFC, there's only so many matches that you get with boxing and UFC. You have the openers and then you have that main event, but it's not a lot of matches that you sit through. All of these people paying all of this money to go see 4 matches. That's a tough pill to swallow for anybody. When you look at, so you have less matches on the cards. You look at how storylines are, they're just very bland. There's no thought or effort put into storylines anymore. Why do you think that is? You keep pushing wrestling to be more of a sports-driven thing, even though we all know it's a work. But you keep pushing it to be this sports-driven atmosphere, and that just doesn't work. It doesn't work for wrestling, but they keep trying to do it. They keep trying to push that. They keep trying to push it. It's crazy. So I keep hearing all of these people again. They keep talking about, well, what if The Rock takes over? He was around in the Attitude Era, so it could be good if the Rock hand picks somebody or him and TKO pick somebody. And it doesn't matter who's going to fill in for Triple H if this happens. It does not matter. Because you already have a situation where wrestling isn't just bad because of bad creative. If it was just bad because of bad creative, we would probably all still be able to watch it because at least we would have characters that we would be into. At least this is me speaking for myself. Dominic Mysterio, he does nothing for me. Literally does nothing for me. What am I going to watch him for? I don't care about Dominic Mysterio. I don't care about these dudes, man. So it doesn't matter. And that's the thing that people aren't talking about enough. It doesn't matter who's running creative. It does not matter because the wrestlers have changed in the business today. I wish that we had more timeless Toni Storm. She is literally the best thing in professional wrestling right now. There's probably some other people that I can think of too. I like Roman. I like what he's doing with his character when he does show up. I don't even know if you can really call him part-time. He's maybe I'll show up. But I love what timeless Toni Storm is doing. I say that a lot, and I will never not praise the work that she is doing. She's funny. She takes her character serious. She's always in character. Even if you follow her on social media, she is always in character. I wish we had more of that across the business, but only so many people do. Look at all of these people that come in from NXT, and they might be in NXT for like 5-6 years. They finally make it to the main roster, and they still can't cut a promo. They still can't talk on the microphone, but yet they're given the opportunity to become somebody and get a championship. Why? They don't have it. They don't have it. And the reason why they don't have it is because they're not even being groomed to have it. They're being more groomed to, hey, can you do these? Well, I can't even say that they work a match. Can you do the moves? And can you do them properly? That's what wrestling is now. What big spot can you do after this big spot? When they give you a super kick, are you going to be able to get up in 3 seconds? Instead of telling them, hey, how about you sell it? How about when somebody does a move that looks like it hurts, you act like it hurts? How about we not try to do every single move like we're trying to learn a video game? Sometimes I feel like I'm watching WWE 2K live. It's ridiculous. This is why wrestling is bad. It's not just the creative. You can change the creative all day. If the wrestlers stay the same, the business will still suck. And it's not even totally their fault. This is just what has been happening over the years. There was a reason why the wrestlers that we grew up watching, it was a reason why they cared about character and they cared about gimmick. They understood what they needed to do. They understood that it wasn't just about, let me learn the moves. Because at the end of the day, wrestling has always been the entertainment, the storylines, tag team partners becoming enemies, valets turning on the wrestler that they would come down to the ring with, or vice versa. Jealousy storylines. You name it. The Attitude Era, we got real crazy with the storylines, but it was entertaining and it was fun. But I could tell you right now, those storylines don't work without somebody like Shawn Michaels. Those storylines don't work without a Stone Cold Steve Austin. Those storylines don't work without The Rock. Do you see what I'm saying? You replace those guys and you put in the guys that are wrestling today, the men and the women that are wrestling today. It's not as entertaining because there's no characters anymore. So that's the biggest thing that people need to talk about. So instead of just talking about TKO, instead of just talking about how bad Triple H's creative is, we need to get to the actual root of the problem. Is the professional wrestlers today, are they talented? Absolutely. Are they some of the most athletic people in the world? Absolutely. The things that they can do are insane and it is impressive. Is it sometimes stupid? Do they do a little bit too much? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, that is not professional wrestling. It's just not. I don't care what anybody says. I will be that old man saying, get off of my lawn. I will relish in that. I don't care. I know what I want out of professional wrestling. I feel like I've been watching it long enough to know what I'm talking about. I know what I want out of the product that I've spent my life watching and enjoying and going to the events live where my brother and we didn't have to spend an arm and a leg to go, and we didn't have to spend an arm and a leg to go see it close up. So the problem with wrestling is not just TKO. People are upset now. I'm seeing more people upset about WWE now. Where have you been? It's been crap for years now. Where have you been? That's all I got to say, man. It's about the wrestlers. It's not just the creative and how bad and unenthused and uninspired the creative is. The wrestlers are uninspired. They're making all kinds of money and all they got to do is do the moves. That's it. That's all they got to do. They don't have to talk on the mic and be catchy. They don't even have to have a catchphrase. Most of them don't. What, LA Knight got one? Is that about it? I mean, am I missing somebody? These people don't have it. They just don't have it. And it's just like any other product that you consume. If you're watching a TV show or a movie, one of the main reasons why you won't like that movie or TV show is because the characters won't resonate with you. Won't just be because of the story. The characters won't resonate. Why do you think that there's certain movies that get a pass if the story is not as good? Because the people that are in it make it entertaining. Do you think that Fast and the Furious movies are great because, oh my gosh, like this feels like Christopher Nolan wrote it? No, it's because they're a good time, full of action. They're never boring. Now, some are worse than others. You know what I mean? That's probably, you know what I mean? I'm just throwing it out there as an example, man. Like these, it's about character. Who do you resonate with on the screen? And I could tell you right now, I don't resonate with the majority of the people that are in the ring right now. So this is me kind of speaking out to even the other content creators. If you're even going to see this video, next time you make content about wrestling not being as good or WWE specifically not being as good, don't just talk about what Triple H is not doing right? Don't just talk about the storylines being blah or, you know, this storyline doesn't make any sense. How about we start talking about the fact that these people that are in the ring aren't as good as they used to be. They're not as good as the wrestlers that came before them. And a lot of the ways they disrespect the wrestlers that came before them. Gunther, he's disrespected two legends in the Ultimate Warrior and Honky Tonk Man. This dude is straight up disrespected. That's that's one of the reasons why I'm not a fan of his. Outside of the fact that he's boring and bland and doesn't have any kind of character or good mic skills. I'm sorry, I might hurt some people's feelings with that because a lot of people like the guy. I feel like he is boring as boring can get. I'd rather watch paint dry. I'm just saying. But I'm getting too mad. I'm getting too upset. And that's not me. So I'm going to end this video. But just remember, it is not just the creative that is making wrestling bad. It's not just the sponsorships that are all over the place and the commercials. That's a part of the problem. And yes, it's a big part of the problem. But the biggest part of the problem, the wrestler's mentality today. That's got to change before wrestling can change. That's all I got to say, man. It's your boy Soul Drum 86, and I'm out. Peace.